Hey everyone, it's me, Donna. Yes, I'm back with another DNA video. I know some of you are probably sick of this, and if you are, you can just cut it off right now because it's probably going to bore you half to death. I just want to make this video to try to prove my theory a little bit more, and also, to help people who are doing DNA research and maybe they're not satisfied with their initial reports, or if you're undecided about what companies to use or whatever. I may not help you with your decision as far as your initial company, but what I can do is tell you to look further. If you are not happy with your report, whether it be ancestry.com or 23andMe or MyHeritage or whatever company you use, you can always dig deeper. You can upload your raw DNA to other places, some places for free, like GEDmatch, or at least at this point in time it's free. You can take your raw DNA to these other places and you can research further and dig down deeper into your DNA. I personally, now don't get me wrong, if you know 100% and you are certain that you are, 100% of whatever ethnicity that you think you are, and if 23 reflects that, or 23andMe, or if Ancestry reflects that, and you don't want to dig any further, you are perfectly happy, then that's fine. Then this video is probably not for you. But if you are uncertain, or if you just want to dig deeper and figure out exactly what's going on with your matches. Maybe it's saying that you have certain ethnicities in common, and you're like, wait a minute, but my report says I have 0. Or maybe their report says that they have 0, but yet you share that. Well, here's my thing. You can't share it if you don't have it. So if it's telling one of you that you have 0%, but yet you both share that, then chances are that's not 100%. So that's a false statement. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like a double negative or whatever. So the truth is you do share it, but it's just not being reported for whatever reason. It could be that they can't narrow it down, so they're just not including it. I don't know. I don't know what these companies' true excuses are. But in some cases, I think they are having trouble narrowing it down. Therefore, they're not including it. And I think that's doing kind of like an injustice to their customers. I personally would rather them just say that I have a certain ethnicity, but yet it's unassigned because they can't narrow it down. At least put it out there and maybe, give it a percentage. Just throw it out there and say you have such and such percentage of European or such and such percentage of Asian, but it's unassigned. That's fine. But at least tell me the truth. Tell me that I have that, and therefore, you just can't pin it down. And unassigned usually means they cannot narrow it down to a specific ethnic group. I'm perfectly fine with that, but at least tell me the truth and tell me that I have that in me. Okay? So let me show you what I mean. For starters, this is my ancestry.com report. I'm very disappointed in this report. Although it's not lying to me, it is telling me what is there, but it's deceiving me with the percentages, and it's not telling me the rest of what is there. So it has way overbloated my England, Wales, and Northwestern European. It's got it at 71%, and I know that's false. I know that it's way lower than that. My Irish and Scottish, it's got it at 20%. That's lower. And then it's got, German. It only includes German, Norway, and Sweden. So that's where it claims all my ancestry comes from. And that is a lie. The part of them telling me that this is in there is not the lie. It's just the leaving out the other stuff that's the lie. And that's the part that really, irritates me. I think that, that they should do better than that. That's unacceptable, in my opinion. Okay? And let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay? When I go to my 23andMe report, 23andMe, it's showing my British and Irish at only 52.9%. And then it's showing my French and German. Of course, it's got it combined. All right. It's at 20.8%. And then it's got my Scandinavian and my Iberian Peninsula at 2.5%. And some of what it couldn't identify, it just threw together in a lump of broadly Northwest European, and it gave it 14.5%. And then my broadly European and broadly Southern European, it just threw those in a lump, and because it couldn't identify or whatever. And then it gave me a way lower African percentage than I know that I am. It did better than Ancestry as far as that goes, but still, I know that to be false, because although it is true that I have these things in me, they too left out a lot of other things that are in me, and they overbloated some of this other stuff. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, this is my GEDmatch model. Now, this is just one model. There's several on this website. You can play around with a lot of them, but this, in my opinion, was the best one. I feel like it pulled out a lot, although some of the other models bring out my Jewish and my other things that I know are there, and all that, but it kind of lumped it together in with the I believe the West African, I guess the West European, all that stuff. But still, in my opinion, it did a heck of a lot better job than 23andMe and Ancestry, because it dug deeper into these other categories, and it did show my Native American, which I know I have. And that's showing up in my family tree. It's lining up with the stories I have been told growing up that in my mind I had doubts about, but I'm seeing that my relatives, they weren't lying. So it just makes you feel good when you can verify what you have been told. So it's got my Native American at 1.62%. It's got my Oceania, which has to do with your Polynesian, stuff like that. I believe like your New Zealand, the islands around New Zealand and all that. It's got that at 2.42%. My South Asian at 0.36%. My Southeast Asian at 0.14%. My Southwest Europe at 34.51%. My goodness, I can't even talk. My Southwest Asian at 2.69%, and my West African at 1.23%. So, as you can see, there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye. And I know there's a lot of people out there in my shoes who know that you've got more than what you're being told by Ancestry and 23, and that's why I recommend digging deeper. That's the only way you're really going to know, is if you dig deeper. But I mean, if you're happy with this, then fine. But I know that it's not true, and especially when I go to look at my cousin matches, and it tells me on here, that on my report, that you've got 0%, but then when you look at your matchups, it will tell you that you have such and such ancestry in common. Well, how can I have 0% of that ancestry, but yet I have that in common with my kinfolk, that don't make any sense. So that tells me they're being deceptive and they're not telling me the whole truth in my final report. And like especially with 23andMe, I can go on my raw DNA and I see all kinds of areas of Asian, African, Native American. It's all in my raw DNA that they have processed. It's on their website. It's there. But in my report, it's telling me I have 0. And that just irritates me. It's like, really? You know? And like I said, even if they can't identify it, just at least post it and tell me that you cannot assign it. You can't identify it. But yet, put it in that broad category like broad Asian and just slap a percentage on it that that the computer says that it is. Be honest with me about it. That's all I'm saying, okay? That's my one major gripe, okay? So anyway, but let me go to the main point of this video. And my main point is I still believe in the green, dingy, yellow theory. I believe that the areas that you share with someone, if they have way more of it than you do, but yet your report tells you have 0, but when it shows the map and it shows a dingy yellow, that means you definitely do have that and you're sharing that with this person, but yet they have way more of it than you do. Same thing with the blue color, because the blue on Ancestry represents you. Okay, but if you have an area that's that in between blue, in between the yellow and the blue color, then that means that is something that you share with that person, but yet you have more of it than they do. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here is one of my cousins. Okay, all right, here's the things that we share. Up here, the major things, and I would like to point out that no, this person's report isn't updated. Mine is supposedly updated, okay? And you can tell that by when you look at this, it won't have those little bars in between the wordings, and it will tell you that yours is updated and it won't have anything for theirs, okay? All right, but if you just look at this map, okay, and if you just believe that yellow just strictly meant that's what they have and blue is only what you have, okay, then looking at this map, how in the world could I be kin to this person if we didn't share DNA? We have to share DNA and ethnicities in order for me and this person to even be kin to each other. You have to share that, okay? But if you went strictly by that yellow theory, looking at this map, there's no way me and this person are kin, okay? So that theory is just, in my opinion, blown out of the water. So there's got to be some truth as to what I'm believing here, okay? So, and even down here, it says European Jewish, okay? I know I have a little bit of Jewish in me, but yet it's telling me I have 0. But yet, how can we share it if I don't have it? It's listing it. In other words, if it does not even list it, then you can definitely say, okay, I do not share this with this person. Because when I have went into my cousin's matches, when you first look on their page, when you click on their profile, it will list all the things that they have, okay? All right. Then when you click in the match area, if any of those things are missing, that means you do not share that with this person. But if it bothers to even show up on this page right here, where you're comparing yourself, you're matching up with this person, if it lists it, then you share it. Bottom line, that's something that you definitely share with this person. Regardless of what it says over here on the side at 0%, or even if it tells that they have 0% of it, if it's listing it on this page, you share it, okay? That's the bottom line with that, okay? So when I go into this, as you can see, it's yellow, but yet you have your areas of bright yellow and dingy, and a dingy-ish green yellow. So it's my belief that this bright yellow, this is the area that's only them. That's areas that I do not share with this person, Okay, but when you get into the dingier colors, this is where we share DNA, but they just happen to share way more than I do. So I don't have as much as they do. So that's my theory on that. And this is one cousin, okay? And as you can see, although Ancestry claims I don't have any of this over in here, well, how can I have it, or how can I not have it if it's listing it and it's showing it right here in this dingy color? So, yeah. All right. And the same thing with the Iberian. You know, 23andMe has it listed. Ancestry doesn't, but yet it's showing it in a dingy color. And it's listing this person as having it at 1%, but me at 0. So, I'm telling you, we're sharing this. Alright, on to the next cousin. Alright, right here, and I intend to blur these people's names out for their privacy's sake. Okay, same thing here. You know, how can you share it if you don't have it? So you've got to have it in order to share it. Because if I just believed the whole yellow thing regardless, then there's no way me and this person would be kin. We have to share some of this stuff. Alright, let me move on to the next cousin. Okay, right here. Same thing, and this is a person that's updated. As you can see, you know, their profile is updated, or, you know, their ethnicity report is updated, and mine is updated, okay? So then I can zoom in, and as you can see, although it's got the Baltic states for me at 0, which I know is false because my 23andMe claims that I do have that area, okay? And it's got them at 2%. Okay, over here's the Baltic states that I know for a fact I have more than 0% of, regardless of what Ancestry is saying. It's got it in a dingy color. So thanks to my 23andMe report, I know that this is something that I definitely have. So it's not like I'm pulling this out of my rear end. This is true. I do have this. So again, it proves my dingy color theory. Same thing for like up here, right up here. I know that I have, you know, the Norwegian and Sweden thing. This is something that me and this person have in common. This is the area that we share. This is where it's kind of weeding on out. This is where they have less of it than I do. And then this right here is where it's supposed to be only me that has this. So it's the blue color. Same thing here. We share this French and United Kingdom stuff. But then as it goes on into Germany, that's where it starts fading out into just me. So, yeah. That's my point on that. And, let's see. Okay, let's see if I can find that other cousin. Where is that at? Oh, here. Okay, this is my other cousin. Alright, this is the cousin that I share quite a bit of, like, my Native American and my Oceania, Polynesian stuff. As you can see on the map, you've got the dingy yellows, and as I zoom in, and of course this person, they have an updated report, and then right down here, see, this is the main stuff that we share, okay? But then as you can see in this area, this is the stuff that's what they would refer to as trace regions, the stuff that's not so strong, but yet we share it. That's just like Norway. We both share Norway. Let me zoom in here. Even though it claims they have 0%, I want you to look at this. Look, this is what we share. I just happen to have more of it than they do in this particular region. I mean, this is me, this is what we definitely share, and this is that in-between area, and it includes Norway, as you can see, Norway. Look, this is that, what I guess I would call a dingy blue, a bluish green. This is what we share, okay? Alright, and of course, this is the other areas. This is the German region that's supposed to be me. This is where we start sharing again. Alright? Let me zoom on out. But like I said, it just so happens I have more of that than they do. Okay? Same thing with the Native American areas. Due to my other reports, I know that Ancestry and 23 are giving me false information as far as that goes, because I know for a fact that I have Native American. Okay? And of course, it's got me at 0% on Ancestry. But here it is in the dingy colors. So to me, that means that we definitely share this, but they happen to have more of it than I do. Okay? Alright, same thing for the Polynesian, Oceania areas right here. They're 35% Polynesian, and it's got me listed at 0%, but yet, here we go with the dingy yellow color. So, and according to, my GED match and other reports, I definitely have Oceania, Polynesian in me. And same thing with the Chinese and that, see? Alright, this is the areas that we share, but yet they have way more of it than I do. And this is the area that's strictly them. As you can see, look, let me see, as you compare this yellow dot, this bright yellow dot, it matches with this area in here, but it doesn't match. It tends to be heading more into the greenish colors. So that's the point that I'm trying to make, and I hope, that I have made that point about that. Again, if you want to disagree, that's fine, but it's not going to change my opinion because I know I'm right about this. I just got that gut feeling that I know what I'm talking about. I may not know much in this world, but this much I believe I know. Okay, and this is something that's interesting. Okay, this cousin, this is someone that I do not know. I don't know the common ancestor that me and this person share, but thanks to this map, I may have a clue as to possibly how I can find out the common ancestor that we share. So this much I know. Our ancestors came from these regions right in here. So I know that's a few people that we definitely have in common, that they came from this area right in here. And I know that they had to have Native American and Polynesian in them. So in my research, if I can find out at what point these ancestors met at, then that will be a huge clue to finding out the ancestors that we share. So, yeah. So, the bottom line is, although I'm very disappointed in the final reports of my DNA results, I am pleased with the fact that they do have these other tools, and it's like they're telling you, it's like them telling you the truth without actually having to spit it out in your report. If you will look, you will find the truth. You just have to know how to use their tools that they have available. So I'm glad that I have this, along with what 23andMe provides, and what the other websites provide. My advice to anyone would be, try to use all the tools that you can. Because one tool alone is probably not going to help you get the whole picture of what you're looking for. If you have, any doubts, or if you feel like there's more to the picture than, the overbloated, major, predominant ethnicity stuff. If you know there's more there, then just look deeper and just use what they have available and learn to read between the lines. That's where you will find pretty much your truth. So I'm going to shut up now, and I hope everyone is doing well. Bye.